Do you have any question from what we did in Module 1?
No, sir. I went through it again with my notes. I'm fine with it, sir. It was we did 1, 2, 3. So I was looking at the next module from 3. That is the listening and the speaking.
Yeah, that's what we are on for today. I don't know, maybe we'll take this module twice. I'm just trying to see how far we can go before you start your. Are you starting exams April 12th?
We are not yet sure. We are having issues. We are hearing June.
Okay, all right, so good.
They said June.
Okay, good. Then we can
that
go
the
easy space. Then you can go at an easy.
But we haven't seen anything. We've not seen anything concrete to it. But that's what's happening in our forum. They said June, so they haven't given us anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, all of you are in education, so your faculty decides what they want to do with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so have you gone through Module 2?
Module 2, that's the listening. What we want to start today.
The study skills, yeah.
Yes, sir. I was going through before the time. I went through earlier on, then I was reviewing again before I logged in.
All right, that's fine. Okay. Again, I'll be sharing my screen and so that we can log in together. So the first thing we are handling under actually this module is the skills for studying. And the first unit deals essentially with the listening skills. The listening skills. Yeah. So now we started by affirming the fact that listening is a skill that is essential for study.
Yeah. Yes.
And in Open University, again, listening is very, very vital because you can listen to lectures from the virtual class like we are doing, from radio, from tape recorders. And actually, I know for now, but in Lagos, you people in Lagos should enjoy the NOUN radio. But I don't know whether they used to broadcast the course materials from NOUN radio. We have a radio station in Lagos.
So are you in Lagos?
I'm not in Lagos, but I'm telling you, we have a radio station in Lagos. And they used to broadcast study materials. I don't know their timetable. I know there was a time they are doing it, but now that the head office in Abuja, whether they are doing it or not now, I don't know. But the radio station is still existing. Because I know some mass communication students do their, what do you call it? They do their industrial attachment at the NOUN radio station. Okay. So whichever way you look at it, listening is a skill that is essential in your learning. And what are the strategies for efficient listening? One, when you are listening, it's always better not to talk so that you could give maximum attention. Do you understand that? When you talk, when you are supposed to be listening, talking at that time becomes a little bit distracting because rather than understand or assimilate what you are hearing, it's like you have to do two activities at the same time and there is no way they will not interfere. So for you to listen effectively, you must pay attention and avoid talking except when it is absolutely necessary. Then it's also good to maintain eye contact with the speaker. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Eye contact makes you, kind of forces you to follow the speaker. Quite all right.
Yes.
And actually, the speaker is also expected to keep eye contact with the listener. Then you empathize with the speaker. I mean, make the speaker feel free talking to you. Let the speaker know you are following. And this could include gestures of nodding your head and all this. Then it's also important for you to remove every physical and mental distractions.
Yes.
Anything that could distract you, you need to remove. And so especially when you are coming to class like this, one will expect that you will sort out issues that can distract.
Yes.
So, because
like your TV, your radio, your light.
My TV is always on, but I put it in absolute silence.
Oh, I switch off completely.
Yeah, I study under little noise. So when I'm working, my TV is always on. I watch, I walk. So, but when I'm coming to class, I keep the pictures on, but I put the voice at 0. So it cannot distract me, really. But the idea is that anything that can distract must be taken away. Hello, Professor Juliet, how are you? Now, another thing that you need to do is to be alert to non-verbal cues from the speaker. Yes. Do you understand what we mean by non-verbal cues?
Gestures, body language, body language kind of like, those are like non-verbal cues. Like maybe even a nodding or going ahead, like showing that you understand, kind of.
Yeah, well, not really up to that. But the issue is when someone speaks, there are some body messages that comes out.
Yes.
So we actually look at gestures, the facial expressions, the tone. Yeah. So all this combined gives you what we call the non-verbal cues.
Yes, sir.
Now, look at the example here. When you're asking how is somebody and the person is telling you I'm fine and the person is frowning, you know that the facial expression does not match the oral utterances. You will know that there is a problem. There is no balance at that point. Then most times when you are listening, you need to take notes. You need to take notes. And it's important, especially for this kind of class. You might be taking notes. A good listener will always put important points down because you might need them for your summary later on. Now, types of listening. You have the active listening.
Yes.
This happens especially when you are listening intently to learn.
Yes.
Then we have the critical or the analytical listening. This is when listening involves your ability to evaluate and analyze the message you are receiving.
For understanding.
Yeah, for understanding. Then the emphatic or therapeutic listening. This happens when we listen to somebody because maybe, when some people are hurt, talking about their hurt is a kind of a medical procedure. Yes. Do you understand? So,
yes, sir.
Especially when people are emotionally disturbed, at that time you may listen for the purpose of allowing them to vent out their. So, such listening you don't analyze, and you may not even have to interrupt. because interruption may disrupt the therapeutic moves. Then appreciative listening is when you are listening for the purpose of enjoyment and pleasure. Appreciation here is a literary appreciation. So, like when you listen to music, what do you listen to? That's a question I usually ask people. When you listen to music, what do you listen to?
Okay, should I? Okay, I should answer. Somebody like me.
Yes.
What will attract me to listening to a song would be first the beat, then the wordings. Okay, so I pay more attention to the message of the music. Yes, because most times I incline to inspirational songs or Christian songs. I prefer Christian songs because they have a lot of meanings attached. People sit down and write songs with meanings. There are meanings for healing, meanings for songs for healing, songs for encouragement, songs for inspiration. Most Christian songs are tuned to that. Then the secular songs, you have some good ones that have good lyrics, but not all of them. Not really all of them.
Yeah, you're right. And I always say this, that people that get carried away by rhythm, by beats, are usually the emotional type.
Oh.
And people that focus on lyrics are usually the reasoning type. Do you agree with my
the lyrics are the beats are emotional and the lyrics are, I didn't get that part, sir.
They are the reasoning type. They use their brain.
Yes, because to get the wordings, interpret them,
and you
connect them.
You discover that people that are emotional most of the time do not use their reasoning. Do you understand that? And people that use their reasoning most of the time may not be emotional.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. Now let's get on to the advantages of learning through listening. There is an increased academic understanding. Then you could get to improve your own communication skills. Then again, you develop the ability to block out distractions. Listening increases your retention capability. And listening actually also contributes to your vocabulary development. Because when you listen, speakers once in a while uses words that you are coming across for the first time, and you need to find out what does this word actually mean and so on. So, now there are barriers to listening. We call this, technically in communication, we call this noise. So that is physical barriers. Somebody with an somebody with an hearing impairment. It's a kind of, but not just that, even a noisy environment is a physical barrier. For example, if you are at the motor park and maybe you tune into this class at the motor park, you discover that, wow, it's going to be highly, highly destructive for you. Then psychological barrier, it has to do with the mental or the physical state of the person doing the listening. Yeah. Then psychological barrier has to do with more with the emotional or the psychological state of the person.
Sleepy, ill, tired. If one is tired, sleepy,
tired beyond that physiological. Okay. Psychological is deeper, like maybe you have some prejudice.
Anxiety.
Prejudices, ego, and so on. You know, there are some people that you just develop a kind of antipathy to, and you block yourself out from them. And when you block yourself from people, you can hardly learn from them.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
it's a kind of psychological barrier. Then linguistic barrier, which is another serious one.
Language.
Yeah, because language plays a very serious role in communication.
Language.
Now, if the speaker is using words you are not familiar with, the tendency is that you are not going to understand what that person is actually saying. Okay.
Perpetual.
Now, I was trying to remember something I wanted to use as an example in linguistic barrier. Yeah, but okay, let's go on. The perceptual barrier. Actually, this has to do with sociocultural differences and intellectual expectations. Again, it's very close to psychological barriers.
Yes, I had issues with this one because I had issues trying to differentiate them. it was the perceptual barrier. I was thinking that they would fall into the psychological and a bit or something.
There's a little difference. Like I say, it's close, but the difference is the speaker is looking at the issue from another angle, and you are looking at it from a different angle.
Can you call it a school of thoughts?
Sometimes it could be. It could be school of thought, but it has to do with your perception of ideas and issues. Let me give an example today. I told you I was in a lecture classroom, and a lot of Christians did not like the fact that Buhari should win the election, and we were talking, and I was saying something that many pastors were so sure that God told them that the guy was not going to win. And even before then, I keep on saying, I'm not seeing this thing with the perception you are seeing it. What if this man is God's choice to build this country? Could you see the different perceptions now?
Yeah.
And so when there is such kind of difference between a speaker and a listener, the perception becomes a barrier. Like what I told them, that see, a lot of people will say that Buhari has not done anything. But to me, that's not a fair assessment. Do you understand what I'm saying? If one of the people in class says, okay, tell us one thing that he has done. So by the time I finish, the guy said, sir, I am saying this thing from a different perception now entirely. So perception can be a barrier to communication.
That's right. And I also feel that people assess the government from their own state's progress. Like Lagos State, when Fashola was there, people assessed the general governance to being good because Fashola was doing the right thing. Then people's assessment of Buhari was also based on Ambode's, because of what was happening in Lagos. We use that Lagos State perception to analyze the whole. Because those in Abuja, I found out that when you go to Abuja, they have a different perception concerning the entire governance of Buhari. Abuja, so I found out that different states.
Abuja is a different game entirely. And I will tell you the problem with Abuja. A lot of the people in Abuja are used to the free money lifestyle in Abuja.
Yes.
Which Buhari blocked entirely.
Yes.
So, could you see the problem now? The money is no longer flowing. So, as far as they are concerned,
it's
not the solution. Anyway, don't let's bring politics into the class. Let's just move on.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. So now the essential components of listening. Listening is a process, and the process is has to do with components. Now, for example, your first thing is hearing or receiving. Then the second step is understanding, followed by remembering, followed by evaluation, and lastly, the feedback. Actually, communication should not be complete unless there is a
feedback.
Yeah. Feedback. Yeah, and the feedback can be verbal or non-verbal.
Yes, sir.
So, to become an effective listener, you must be prepared to do your listening. You must concentrate on the speaker's content and context. Do you understand the difference between the two? The content is what he is saying, and the context is the situation, circumstances surrounding what he is saying.
Yes, sir.
Asking questions at the right time, taking notes, and then we zero into notes-taking methods. I don't know. Are you used to any notes-taking method?
Yes, sir. Cornell method.
Cornell method. That's fine. So, but
Cornell method.
Are you aware?
I'm a kind of bit of all of them. I like the mapping. I like Cornell. I like the charting. Then I like the sentence method. I kind of mix. I'm a bit of everything. It depends. If it's a bit complex, I put it in a mapping method to make it concise so I can understand. Then I use the Cornell by the corner, maybe during lecture periods, like what I do now. Maybe I have the material and information is coming in. I'll do it. I think the Cornell method, from what I've read and understood, is the one by the corner of your work. So you take notes at that part. You take notes at the corner there. Then the outlining method, where I highlight, you could use highlight now, or I do a lot of underlining. So it helps me during reading to, get back to draw my attention, see emphasis. Then revision, I look at the corner part, that's the corner, the jottings I have made to review quickly. So a bit of everything. I apply a bit of everything.
Okay, so that's the end to our work at this point. And then we can go on to, let me ask, do you have any speaking or question on listening before we move on to speaking?
It was just that perception part that I had a bit of when I was reading it, and now it's a bit clear when you explained it, because yes, I mixed a bit of psychological and physiological, but it cleared it a bit. Then the perception, I'm fine, sir. I'm fine, sir.
Yeah, good. Now, speaking again is another essential study skill, because without speaking, you can hardly learn, especially along with your colleagues. And one of the things we have always encouraged in the open and distance learning is the interactivity between learners to help them, to help them work together to learn, to collaborate together. And that demands a level of speaking.
Yes.
To be an effective speaker, the first thing is you must be able to know, anticipate, and engage your audience. Yeah. You must know your audience, anticipate your audience, engage your audience. I mean, a good speaker should be able to catch the attention of his audience within the first 2 minutes of his starting to speak. Yes. Once you do not do it around that time, you may never be able to get them to follow you throughout.
That's right.
Then you should have a purpose for speaking. If you don't have a purpose for speaking, you end up speaking nonsense.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you must prepare for the speech. And that's very important. You must prepare for the speech. Preparation here does not just mean writing out what you want to say. It can also involve, for example, if you want to use audiovisual aids, you must get them ready. You must get your projection ready. You must have even tried that when after you set it up, before you start the lecture, you must be sure that it's working. So that it's not when you get there, you just discover that the thing is flopping. And then you create problem for yourself. But most importantly, you must prepare content-wise. Now, an effective speaker should use good and acceptable language. Your choice of word must be appropriate to your audience. I was giving an example today with the redeemed people, and I told them that there was a particular year I was invited to preach at the Christmas carol of what's this place now? Delta State University in Abraka. I preached my message from the book of Leviticus chapter 25. I spoke for almost 40-something minutes. By the time I finished, the Vice Chancellor walked up to me and said, "Sir, this is brilliant. I have never had Christmas message preached from the Old Testament, except from the book of Isaiah. But coming from Leviticus, no, this is good." Now, I preach that same message in my local church where I have 70-80% of peasants, farmers, fishermen, and market women. But definitely, the language is going to be different.
Yes.
Okay, I've received my warning, 9 minutes more.
Sir, you said Leviticus, sorry, sir. Leviticus what, sir?
Leviticus 25. Now, that's just an example. So
I understand. I wanted to go back to it to look at it, sir.
So you must be able to use language that is suitable to your audience. And that's the important thing. Then repeat your key ideas, but there are some people like me that don't like over repetition. So when you are making use of repetition, you must make use of it skillfully.
Yes.
Then you should make your speech more conversational and less complex. Okay. Now, types and purpose of speaking, you will have the informative speaking. This is when you are speaking to pass across an information. So teaching is an example of
informative.
Yeah. Persuasive speaking is when you are speaking to persuade the person you are speaking to embark on a particular action. Yeah, and at times it might involve a change of mentality, a change of attitude, a change of belief.
Like salespeople.
Yeah, like salespeople. They have to do a lot of persuasive speaking. Now, entertainment speaking. So this is when you are just saying this to make people laugh, so your audience will come into this class. Now, and how do you learn through speaking? Because speaking is one of the essential skills that you need to learn. And let me tell you this. One of the moments I learn most is when I teach my colleagues.
Oh.
This is one of my own peculiarities. I don't read in a group and ever read well and ever assimilate. But if you ask me and say, please come and teach us this thing, I will gladly accept. Because I know that in the process of teaching you
process it better.
Yes, my brain processes it, and I can go to exam hall and picture what I have done in class. So
it happens to me too. It happens to me. You understand it better. You even find out that when you are speaking, you get to even understand the complex areas. It becomes clearer and better when you explain it to others, to you.
So what are the challenges you face when speaking? Anxiety. There are some people who have I used to have that when I just started out preaching, but gradually I overcame it.
Everybody, sir. Everybody goes through that process.
Yeah, that's true. My light is gone again, but don't worry. I think I can go on with this. What's my touch? Unfortunately, the time is also already gone. So once the time is over, I'll just go and sleep.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Well done, sir. You really tried.
So now, if you don't know your subject matter, you are going to have a lot of problems speaking. So for you to be a very good speaker, you must master your topic.
The content.
Yeah, your topic, your theme. Then another thing that causes problem is your accent and mother tongue interference. And I used to tell people that whether we like it or not, Nigerian English is a concept that has come to stay. I don't need to speak English like a Briton or like an American, because I know at the end of the day I will never speak like them. And that's why I always laugh at all those Nigerians that force themselves to speak phonetically but at the end of the day you make slips because it is not part of you. It's something you are consciously making yourself to do. Yeah, except those who actually have spent some time abroad and they have adapted to that manner of speaking. So I always tell people, be yourself when you speak. Just make sure that people you are speaking to understand your language. And you don't owe anybody any apology for not speaking correct English pronunciation.
Even with IELTS.
I didn't get you.
Yes, sir.
So the components of speaking includes grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. Now, if vocabulary is limited, then you are going to have problems speaking because you will be overplugging certain words when there are 101 words that you can use. And then we come to the issue of fluency.
Yes.
Speakers that are not fluent have problems. And for you to become a confident speaker, your integrity matters a lot, because most of the time, if you don't believe in what you are saying, it shows. Yeah. And then you should be, like I've just said a few minutes ago, you have to be yourself. Don't push out a personality that is not yours, because before you finish speaking, you are going to make a slip that will actually bring out who you are. Yeah. So don't force, don't try to be another person. Then focus on what you are contributing rather than seeking approval from people. Then you practice speaking often. And the more you practice speaking, the better you get speaking. Yeah. And then, like we have said, for the opt-in time, know your content, study your content very well, go through your key points, and you know what you are saying. Now, good. We have only 2 minutes plus more, so maybe we will stop here for today. Then the next class we are coming up, I'm not going to spend as much time detailed with you, but I'm enjoying this because we are one-on-one. So,
thank you, sir. When will our next class be, sir, before we go
off? We'll have a class next week. Next week begins tomorrow. What do you think? Which day will be okay for you?
Any day, as long as it's 10 to 11, I'm fine.
Okay, you want us to keep 10 to 11. Okay, let's think about Wednesday, but you may need to remind me.
Okay.
You may need to remind me. Let's think about Wednesday, because I have to schedule some other classes too. I don't take other classes as late as this. I take them between 6, 7, 8. All right, Gozie. So
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you, sir.
it. Go to the discussion forum and keep up your discussion. I'll check up on it during the week.
Good night, sir. Have a lovely night rest, sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.